What is the scariest thing that could happen to an airsofter? We asked our community what they thought, and around 80% responded with safety mishaps. But I have to make a note here. Around a fifth of those who answered said that forgetting to reload or leaving a battery at home was more unnerving than being injured. To those people, I only really have one thing to say. I see you, and I respect you. Jokes aside, with Halloween just over a week away, I thought it might be fitting to tell you a bit of a horror story. Now, this isn't to scare you, but rather inspire you to consider if you are taking the same gamble that I did. This is the 100% true story about my worst airsoft injury. December 2011. Myself and a group of friends, totaling about 6, head out for one of our regular airsoft training sessions in a nearby forest. These were pretty casual events, and everyone just kind of brought whatever they had. We were still new to the sport, so getting in as much practice as we could was important to us. Safety was simple. Make sure you have properly rated eye protection. We figured to get ourselves warmed up on this winter day, our group decided to split up for a free-for-all. Every man for themselves. This match, though, wouldn't be so routine. I went to my respawn, and I waited for the match to start. I decided to follow the main path for a little while, and then cut into the forest where I knew someone else had spawned nearby. I moved as carefully as I could along the terrain, but it wasn't long before I noticed something. A sniper rifle, laying completely unattended, right around the area where the other person would have started. Did they intentionally leave it behind to move faster? Are they coming back for it? Is this an ambush? Too many questions, I'm losing focus. After a quick scan, I make the best of the situation by removing the magazine from the sniper, putting it in my pocket, and then moving on. Now, I know this wouldn't fly in a normal match at a regulated airsoft field with strangers, but keep in mind we were all close friends here, and our relaxed rules allowed for more freedoms like this. Besides, I knew he had a backup pistol he could still use. In hindsight though, it's also why this whole incident happened in the first place, and not for the reason that you might think. After securing the magazine, I moved forward and attempted to clear the central area of the field. It was oddly empty though, and after progressing nearly halfway through it, the nagging voices in my head had returned. Wouldn't I have seen someone by now? Did they notice I took the magazine from their gun yet? Are we just walking around in circles? No, enough of this. I decided to break the cycle and double back on the exact route that I had taken, and I really don't think I could have known what that choice would result in. Taking what were admittedly probably not very quiet steps on my walk back, I was feeling secure as I had just cleared the area near the sniper. As a new player, what I didn't consider is how difficult it can be to see into a forest, but how easy it can be to see out of. I took another step forward towards the tree line, and just like that, I was hit. But something wasn't right. Instantly, I knew I'd been shot in the mouth as I spat the BB into my hand. Once I gazed down into my palm, my stomach dropped. There was a BB and some small white fragments. I initially thought that maybe the BB had shattered on impact, but as I watched it roll across my hand, I couldn't help but notice it was perfectly intact. With only myself to blame, it was right around this moment that I swore louder and longer than I probably have in my entire life. Still not knowing the full extent of what had happened, I made my way back to the respawn and thought about how I could inspect the situation. While it didn't occur to me at first, I quickly realized that I could take a photo using my cell phone. But because it didn't have a front-facing camera, I had to turn the screen away from me to take the photo. This is what I saw. The BB had destroyed a lower portion of one of my front teeth. Amazingly, I don't really recall a lot of pain from this, as thankfully the damage wasn't severe enough. This also meant that my tooth could be salvaged, and after an emergency dental appointment on literally the same day, I was lucky enough to have a mostly restored tooth. It's not a perfect fix, and I can still feel some imperfections to this day, but I think we can agree that anything beats this. So let's address the elephant in the room. How do we stop accidents like this from happening? Well, because of the definition of accidents, we can never fully stop them, but we can take actions to make sure that we're safer on the field. The obvious fix here? No more basic safety glasses. Those alone are not enough. Start with a steel mesh face mask to protect those teeth of yours. After that, invest in some full seal goggles to stop BBs from entering from all angles. Now you're properly ready to play airsoft. And no, I didn't get that on the first try.
Ow. Maybe we'll just do one at a time.
If you'd like to learn some critical information on eye protection within Airsoft, then make sure you check out this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Class is dismissed.
No, we're done.